Thank you very much. Thanks, Stephanie. Yeah, thanks for Marshall for inviting us to take part in the Marshall Monday series. As Stephanie said, yeah, we're in Wales in the UK, so a little bit different to some of the other talks if you've been in those. But to introduce myself, my name's Daniel. I'm an international officer at Cardiff University. I've worked at the university for over 10 years, and I was a student there previously as well, so I've got perspective for both sides. And I'm joined today as well by one of our current students, Emma, who is in the first year of her studies, and will be able to sort of give a more up-to-date sort of view of what life is like as a student at Cardiff. So we'll be sort of grilling her on some of the things about that later on. What I'm going to go through today is just some information about the university overall, from the sort of academic offerings, student life, societies and sports, and just give you some information about Wales as well and Cardiff as a city, just in case you're not familiar, because everyone tends to know London, maybe not so many of the other cities in the UK. So today you're going to find out all about us. So without further ado, we'll get started. So brief introduction to Cardiff University itself. It's a relatively old university, so 1883 it was established, and traditional university in terms of combining prestigious heritage with modern facilities. So as you can see from the photographs, we've got some very old-fashioned style buildings, but then contrasted with the sort of more modern styles as well. So a lot of investment has gone into sort of making sure the university has up-to-date facilities, including the sort of older buildings as well, which are sort of internally up to date and cutting edge in most cases. So we are one of the largest universities in the UK. We have around 32,000 students approximately, made up of 3 colleges, encompassing 24 academic schools, and that includes more than 300 programs as well that you can choose from across undergraduate, postgraduate master's programs and postgraduate research, like PhD programs as well. We're also a member of the elite Russell Group of universities, which is top 24 research intensive universities in the UK, so we're very proud to be a member of that. And it's more than just a title. It looks good for us in terms of selling the university. It generally does sort of benefit your studies as well. So you will be getting some lectures from academics who are leading in their field. So yeah, we're very proud to be a part of that. And that's backed up as well by our ranking in the world. So we are 181st in the world at the moment. New rankings due out imminently, and we're hoping it's going to be a positive direction. But yeah, we are top 200 in the world for overall, and then multiple programs consistently ranked then in the top 50 and top 100, as we'll get on to shortly as well. But then outside of the academic side, we are 3rd best students union in the UK, according to the What Uni Student Choice Awards, and top 10 for student life as well. So as an overall package, which hopefully Emma will agree with later on, I think it's a fantastic offering we have at Cardiff in terms of academic side of things and student life. So as you mentioned, we're made up of 3 colleges. This will just give you an idea of the subject areas that are included in these colleges. So for the College of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, we have the subjects listed here. So we've got 10 schools, the biggest ones being sort of business, journalism and law. They, in terms of numbers, they are our biggest schools. Not necessarily sort of promoting those individually, but there's a lot of other options there as well. But just to sort of highlight some of the larger schools and tend to be the most popular ones we get applications from across the US. Social sciences as well is quite often popular for US students. We have a College of Biomedical and Life Sciences, made up of 7 academic schools. Again, some very big schools there. Bioscience is a big school for us. Medicine is always popular. And psychology is particularly popular at the moment and is emerging as one of the most popular ones. Particularly when I've been visiting the US recently, I've been getting a lot of questions about psychology. And then we also have our College of Physical Sciences and Engineering, which includes 7 academic schools, which architecture being one of the most popular and biggest ones there, as well as engineering. It's a very, very big school for us in terms of student numbers. And should mention as well that these subject areas, it's not just the only courses we offer. There's different programs within these areas. So these are just the broader topics that we offer. Okay, so that should give you an idea of what we offer at Cardiff, so a very broad range of subjects. And as I mentioned as well, we are sort of very strongly ranked across the board. So we've got a number of subjects there listed in the World Top 50. including architecture, biological sciences, our School of Journalism, Media and Communication Studies, dentistry, geography, public administration, all ranked within the top 50 in the world. And then there's more subjects then in the top 100, so archaeology, business administration, English language and literature, law, nursing, psychology and sociology in the top 100 in the world. And there's multiple other subjects then within the top 150 and top 200, but for the sake of space on a slide, I didn't include everything. But like across the board, we are very broadly strongly ranked. And across the UK as well, we're top 10 across, like I say, even more areas there. So we've got, won't read through them all, but yeah, we have a lot of strength in depth, I would say, across our subject areas. So rather than highlight anything in particular, we just I'll let you sort of look at the list yourselves there and see whether anything jumps out at you. So Cardiff is a city. Just to sort of reiterate, we are a Welsh university, so we're a capital city of Wales in Cardiff. It was voted the best city in the UK in 2023 by from the Condé Nast Travellers Readers Awards. So we're quite pleased to have that recognition. I'm very biased. I love Cardiff. I'm not from here originally, but I moved here for university and never really left. So I've been here for a long time now, but I am Welsh. There's an estimated 94 languages spoken across the city, because it is a capital city after all. Even though it's not the biggest city in the UK by far, it is a very multicultural city and has everything you'd expect from a capital city as well in terms of the culture, the diversity and things like that as well. So that includes religious cultural facilities, so anyone from any faith has sort of places to go, international cuisine, so some fantastic restaurants and supermarkets, food festivals, along with things like Taco Bell as well and Popeye's chicken, so you'll get some home comfort as well, if that's your thing, but there's also some like Michelin star restaurants and things in the area too, so you get a mixture of both depending on sort of what you feel there. But it's a small and friendly population, made up approximately 20% students. So I mentioned earlier, Cardiff has around 32,000 students in total approximately. The population of Cardiff is just under 400,000 overall, but there's 2 other universities in the area as well. So that feeds into the student population and makes it very friendly and very young and just, yeah, overall very, very good vibe, I would say. And it is one of the safest regions in the UK as well. So yeah, in terms of actual crime in the city centre, particularly as a capital city, the rates are sort of extremely low, and yeah, it's particularly on the campus as well. We have a lot of security and safety procedures in place. Alongside that as well, also very affordable as a student city, which is a key factor for many people making a decision of where to go for university, and scholarships are part of that sort of funding process as well. So yeah, cost is often a very important factor, and so, yeah, Cardiff's the 3rd most affordable in the UK according to the NatWest Student Living Index 2025. So we are quite pleased about that too. City itself is very green and easy to travel in and around. It's, as you can see from the photograph, a lot of parkland. There's the Cardiff Castle just behind it, the trees there in the background as well. It's well connected to other cities in the UK as well, though. So about 2 hours from London by train. If you want to sort of spend a weekend doing something in London, you can easily do that. If you'd ever want to leave Cardiff, which I can't imagine why you would. But it's also a really good shopping destination as well in Cardiff. So we do have a lot of like shopping in the centre of the city, which is approximately like 15 minutes walk from the centre of the campus as well. So it's really easy to get to. Being a compact, relatively small city, everything's very accessible as a student. And the parks themselves as well. This park in the photograph is right next to the university, so it runs from the city centre along the river alongside the university, so you can easily just sit in the park between lectures and enjoy the sunshine sometimes, or the rain, depending on what time of year it is. But yeah, there's over 330 parks and gardens in Cardiff, and this is Butte Park, the biggest of them. And there's also access to other national parks, beaches and castles, woodlands, scenic cycle path, etc. Cardiff is perfectly located to access everything. So Cardiff is coastal, so we do have a coast very nearby. Some lovely beaches just along the area as well, towards sort of Penarth and that sort of area. And then also the other side of Cardiff, we have the mountains and the hills. So depending on what you want, you've got a bit of everything. So you've got the mountains, the hills, then you've got the city, then you've got the seaside. So yeah, perfect location for whatever you want, really. And yeah, we are a very international city, as I mentioned already. So about 6,500 international students approximately from 140 plus countries, about 200 plus partnerships around the world with other universities as well, global research agreements, and a lot of exchange opportunities for students too. And so some testimonials as well from some of our students from the US previously. We do have a long history of US students, including Emma, who's with us today. Yeah, we do have generally very good positive feedback from US students who come to Cardiff. Getting onto the teaching and learning side of things, because that's obviously the crux of why you would choose university as well. It's not just about choosing the city. We look at ourselves as an innovator in problem-based learning. So this essentially would mean that you're not just going to be sat in a lecture hall getting sort of academic theory thrown at you constantly. We do try and mix up our teaching methods to sort of relate it to the real world circumstances as well. So it'll be a combination of formal lectures, small seminar groups, one-to-one sessions with tutors, group work, independent study, might be presentations. Some of our programs have like consultancy challenges as well, where you work with like a real company and sort of work on the problems there. So there's a lot of different ways we try and sort of innovate on teaching as well. And depending on the subject, you may use labs, meet members of the public, operate specialist equipment, go on field trips as well. So very definitely, we don't want to just consign you to a lecture hall. We want to make sure you get sort of a more sort of engaging experience here at Cardiff. And that includes as well sort of our virtual learning environment. So there's a lot of facilities available online and access to a lot of journals, articles, textbooks and things as well there too as well. So yeah, we try and make it sort of easy for you. And then personal tutors available as well. So if you have any sort of questions on the academic side of things, there's always a personal tutor available for you to speak to. And yeah, you can just kind of ask some questions and get some guidance there. And most of the academics also have separate office hours. So if you want to speak to them, you can meet with them. And then once you graduate from Cardiff successfully, you can see from the big list of massive companies there, the opportunities are fantastic. So these are just some examples of some of the bigger companies that, or more recognized companies that we've had students go into in the past. So some huge names there worldwide. And yeah, we get students go into these companies, but then depending on what students want to do, whether they want to go in a startup or a medium-sized company or big corporate, we will support them on that as well. And sort of our careers and employability team will prepare students for that, making sure that they are sort of ready with their sort of resumes, ready for the interview process. Some graduate programs do things like psychometric testing, so we'll do practice tests as well, things like that. But also put students in front of employers. So we have like employer fairs where students can attend, speak to employers about sort of graduate opportunities, things like that as well. And also have a lot of resources online for you where you can sort of find the opportunities as well. So yeah, we do sort of put a lot of emphasis on employability at Cardiff. It's very important to us that our graduates end up in the right place afterwards. And the stats back that up. So 89% of our international graduates are either in employment or further study or doing some sort of planned activity within 15 months after graduating. So it's very, very strong on that front. And we are 12th in the UK for graduate employability. So we are very proud of that, and something we look to constantly trying to improve as well. We want students to be successful. And as mentioned as well, we've got 100 plus international employers take part in frequent recruitment events for Cardiff students. So we do put students in front of employers. The opportunities are there as long as students want to engage. You're going to get opportunities to speak with some big opportunities to speak with employers there. And we also have an online graduate jobs board. So when students do graduate, the opportunities are there. Even after you graduate, we will still continue to support you. It's not just kicked out the door, get on with it. We will continue to support you after you graduate for up to 3 years as well. And that board is available for students to find opportunities there, as well as sort of networking opportunities that we put on as well, regular events and things. And this is our student futures team. So they're the guys behind all this careers and employability opportunities. And like I say, they can sort of help with the preparing students for the what they need for the next steps in their careers. So tailored employability resources. They will sort of speak. You can arrange appointments with them individually. They also do group sessions. and can help you with the job search, because it can be quite a new situation, particularly if you look in a different country as well. So if you do have the opportunity potentially to stay in the UK after graduating. So if you're familiar with the UK job market, we can sort of familiarise you with that as well. And or vice versa, if you want to go back to the US, for instance, we can sort of give you some guidance on that as well, because we're well versed across the board. And like I say, a lot of events, online support, volunteering opportunities as well. Or if you want to start your own business, we have a particular sort of section for entrepreneurs as well. So we do have potentially some funding there too. So yeah, we do try and sort of make sure everything's covered. And on the support side as well, we have academic support, which comes from like student mentor schemes and personal tutor support for students, which already touched upon. But basically, when every student starts their studies, they're allocated a personal tutor, and they have to meet with them compulsory meetings like three times a year. And you can also arrange appointments outside of that as well to speak with the personal tutor, whether it's on the academic side of things or more on the sort of pastoral care, like support side of things as well, so they can then provide guidance on which resources at the university might be best suited for each situation. And then we also have international language support if that's required, along with our Languages for All program, which is personally I think is fantastic, offering the opportunity to learn one of these languages alongside your degree. Doesn't have any bearing on the sort of the main degree program itself, but it's something you can do alongside, and you can come in at any level, so it doesn't have to be sort of beginner level. If you already sort of have a bit of Spanish, for instance, you can come in sort of intermediate level and continue to sort of learn from there as well as Welsh. So if you're up for the challenge of learning Welsh, which trust me is a bit of a challenge, even though as a Welsh person it's a bit of a challenge, but definitely worth it, because we're very proud of our language and culture and heritage. So even if you just pick up a few words, it'll be fantastic, and it'll probably help you with some of the street signs as well, which are English and Welsh everywhere. And then alongside that, we also have dedicated international student support team where they provide health and well-being guidance. So that can be like physical and mental health, careers guidance I've already mentioned, financial advice, disabled student support, and equality and diversity, and visa advice as well. So any issues around any of those things, there's dedicated teams there for that. And when students arrive at Cardiff, there's also a full induction program, and potentially a coach collection service as well on certain days. So if you arrive at like Heathrow Airport on certain days, we will pick you up at the airport and bring you to Cardiff. You don't have to worry about finding your own way. We'll just bring you to the door. But yeah, the induction program when you first arrive, the induction week basically, will sort of show you around your sort of the key things you need to know around the university in terms of locations, your school, and things in the city centre. All the key points, we'll sort of make sure you're fully sort of up to speed on everything like that in that first week. And then a lot of international student societies and sports clubs as well. So we'll get more of that later. But yeah, there are sort of dedicated international societies, like the US Student Society, for instance. So if you want to sort of catch up with compatriots, then you have the opportunity to do that as well. And then the facilities themselves. So you've seen some of them in some of the earlier pictures. This is our Centre for Student Life, where it's the home to all the support services that I just mentioned. This is a dedicated base for all those services, essentially. So we kind of treat it as like a one-stop shop, essentially, where this is the home of all these fantastic sort of services we offer. It was a £50 million investment a few years ago, and it's right at the heart of our campus, very easy to get to, directly opposite the main university building, and again, 10 minutes from the centre of the city as well. So yeah, you're right at the heart of things with this Centre for Student Life, study areas, things in there as well. So they've got a really fantastic facility. And the investment doesn't stop there. There's £300 million investment invested in our innovation campus, which is including Spark, which is the world's first social sciences research park, and that's where my office is based. I'm very lucky to be there. But yeah, we do sort of constantly sort of look to innovate and invest and make sure that university maintains a standard that we sort of expect of ourselves. We also have 11 libraries at present, so more than 2,500 study spaces, some of which are 24/7 access. And I can tell you from experience that if you go into one of them at like 3 a.m., you'll probably still find somebody in there, particularly if it's around like assignment hand-in time. So yeah, there's a lot of spaces to study, and and the whole university is sort of Wi-Fi connected. You can just bring your laptop. There's also plug-in points as well, and dedicated sort of PCs and things, as well as like other computer labs for sort of more technical programs. If there's other machinery and things you need to use, there's dedicated sort of equipment for that as well. Study pods, meeting rooms if you're doing group assignments, for instance, and refreshment amenities. So there'll always be coffee. There's coffee. You will be fueled. And then student accommodation. So in the UK, we refer to it as accommodation, student residences or housing. So we guarantee it for all international students as long as you meet the required deadlines. So for postgraduate students, we have 7 residences options with different facilities available, slightly different locations, but all within walking distance generally of the university. So most of them are within sort of 2 kilometres of the Cathays Park campus, which is the one we've seen the pictures of at the moment. Heath Park campus is where our medical school is based, so it's a little bit further away because that's where the hospital is. And as I've highlighted in one of the points there as well, our residences generally looking at sort of half the cost of renting in London. So the cost of living in Cardiff is another big factor, and one of the reasons I stayed here as well, actually. But yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity to sort of to stay in a city for lower cost. We have 24-hour assistance in our student accommodation as well. So if anything goes wrong, there's always someone on site to sort of make sure they can sort of solve the problems. And we have a residence life team who sort of put on sort of social events and things, drop-in sessions and helpful workshops if students sort of want to socialise within their residences as well. And then the important question is, how much does it cost? So you're looking at around $12,000 approximately for one of these for one of those options. It does vary slightly because some of them offer sort of private bathrooms like ensuite. Others should be shared bathroom between sort of other people in the sort of apartment style accommodation. Some of the options also have meals included. So yeah, we have different options available, but they start in around sort of like £12,000 approximately for a full calendar year as well for the postgraduate master's programs. And with these rooms, you get it's not a dorm style situation where you're sharing with other students. It is private, which is always a pleasant surprise to some of the US students I speak to. So you get your own private room, bed, desk, chair, wardrobe storage, potentially your own private bathroom, internet, and then generally a shared kitchen and dining room. That's also a social space as well, normally, where everyone kind of meets up and chats and things. And as I said, like I say, it's guaranteed, and then you get to apply for it after you get your offer to study. So we send you information about how to apply for it after you get your offer. And continuing on the topic of fees and funding, which is the whole purpose of today as well, being Marshall. So tuition fees at Cardiff range between $33,000 to $42,000 for the postgraduate programs, approximately, depending on which program you apply for. There's bit of variance in cost, so it's all listed on our website under the individual course pages. So if there's one in particular you want to look at, you can check on our website. We have some scholarships available as well. So it's not just the collaboration with Marshall we have at Cardiff. It's a fantastic opportunity, but not everybody's going to get that. So we do make sure there's opportunities for other students as well, whether they're external awards or some of our internal sort of funding as well. So for 2026, our Vice Chancellor's Postgraduate International Scholarship is worth $8,000 for students from the US. And if there's anyone still looking to apply for September this year, this one is still open, available for students to apply. As long as you apply by 31st of July, this one is still potentially available as well. And generally speaking, that scholarship is hopefully going to be continued every year. We can't guarantee because they do change every year, but broadly speaking, we have some funding in some form every year. Also, the option to work alongside these studies is there. So if you want to sort of, if you're concerned about the cost of things, you can work alongside these studies for up to 20 hours a week during term time, and then outside of term time, students can work full time potentially. This is the general sort of guidance on a student visa in the UK. So it may vary. Make sure to check your own visa requirements, but this is what it would ordinarily be. So you can still sort of work in and around the university, and we do have a lot of opportunities to work within our students' union or on site, or like Emma's doing today as an ambassador. There's opportunities all around campus. Oh, one I forgot actually there. So at the bottom of the screen there, highlight we accept sort of financial aid from the US as well. So if you have federal funding, we do accept it. more information can be found via the QR code there on our website. We've got a full explanation of what we accept and about private loans and things as well. So a lot of information I couldn't fit on the presentation, but also if you have more questions on it afterwards, feel free to contact us. But yeah, there's a lot of information on our website which hopefully should clarify some of that. And then Marshall. So we're very, very happy to sort of to work with Marshall scholarships and have Marshall scholars at Cardiff. Applications for 2027 Marshall scholarships are open now. You can find the link via the QR code there. But I just wanted to sort of run through some of the eligibility requirements, even though you're probably relatively familiar, being seen as you're here right now. At the bottom of the screen, we've got the broad set of eligibility criteria. And then what I really wanted to highlight more was the this part here, the second bullet point. So we do sort of really look at the applications thoroughly when we're evaluating. It's not just about the academic performance. So if you've got a really high GPA, but your motivations or your sort of the candidate evaluation criteria isn't met, then you're not probably going to get too far with it. So we are looking for students who are sort of going to have that sort of academic merit for sure, then also the leadership potential and ambassadorial potential as well. So we are really going to sort of put a lot of consideration into those factors. So yeah, do take a lot of consideration into that, and not just the sort of the broader sort of eligibility criteria. So I'm going to move on to this slide now, which is our current Marshall scholarship at Cardiff, scholar at Cardiff, I should say, Eric from California, who's doing an MA in history with us. So he couldn't be with us today because unfortunately he's currently on an internship in Illinois right now. But he sent us this video instead. So I'm just going to play for a second and you can listen to somebody else for a couple of minutes.
Hi everybody, my name is Eric. I'm a Marshall Scholar here at Cardiff University. I just completed the top stage of my master's degree in history here at Cardiff, and I was the recipient of the Marshall Scholarship, which basically funds 2 years of graduate study at any university in the United Kingdom in basically any subject. And I wanted to record this short video to tell you about some of my experiences with Marshall and my experiences in Cardiff, what the program has helped me do in my career, and how it's helped me pursue my academic interests in ways that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to pursue them. So, first, I'd like to maybe talk about a bit of my experience applying to the Marshall Scholarship. So, I went to college in the United States at Brown University, and the way that Marshall applications work at Brown is you submit a Google form which outlines your interest in applying to the scholarship when you're a junior in college. So that's your third year. And then over the summer between your third and fourth years of college, you work with a lot of fellowship advising faculty and administrators at the university to help you prepare a strong application for the scholarship. So I spent most of my summer preparing those applications, submitted in September, interviewed in November, and was given the scholarship right after my interview in November. It was a lot of work, but I thought it was a really rewarding process, and I had a lot of great support with Brown to help me, produce the best application I could. Now, Marshall has helped me a lot ever since I got to Cardiff. It gave me the chance to continue doing research that I started in undergrad. It gave me the chance to work with scholars who are really squarely aligned with my research interests. I mean, I chose Cardiff because I really wanted to work with this very particular historian of ancient law that uses these interesting methods in contemporary jurisprudence to inform the histories that he writes. I found that super interesting. It's pretty aligned with what I was doing in college. And so I really wanted to work with him. And so the scholarship gave me the chance to do that. And I otherwise probably wouldn't have been able to do that. And also, Marshall has helped me get all sorts of cool research jobs in the United States. Like, I've been able to work at this place called the American Law Institute, which writes these really influential treatises that are pretty widely disseminated to lawyers in the United States. And I was able to get that job based on leveraging my Marshall Scholarship and talking to academics who are affiliated with the program. My experience in Cardiff, I thought, was really positive. I mean, I love going to Butte Park. I love taking the train out to the bay. I love how affordable the city is. I love its proximity to Bristol. I thought it was really nice. And yeah, thank you for giving me the chance to talk to you about this, and I hope that this little blurb was helpful.
Okay, so yeah, thanks to Eric. Hopefully he's going to tune in at some point and watch this. But yeah, big thanks Eric for sending the video. But as Eric highlighted there as well, he had clearly done his research before he applied for the Marshall Scholarship, and was he'd looked for academics who were closely aligned with what he's looking for in terms of his research and interests. that's the kind of criteria we're looking for there. So you need to sort of look at our website, find if there's any academics or sort of courses that are very closely aligned with your interests, and that's where you're going to sort of find the sort of more successful candidates, basically. So yeah, Eric's a very good example of how he approaches the application process, I would say. So yeah, thanks to Eric. So life in Cardiff. So yeah, Eric touched upon it a bit already. He's enjoyed himself up to this point. So life in Cardiff as a student and as anyone living here is world-class sporting venues and events. So we got like a half marathon, a lot of international rugby, cricket, and soccer matches. Music venues attracting global stars, including Taylor Swift a couple of years ago, Beyonce, Lana Del Rey, Coldplay, Ed Sheeran, Harry Styles, Foo Fighters. I think it's Metallica this year playing the stadium as well, so something for everybody. And a lot of sort of smaller venues as well. So depending on what you're interested in, there's a lot of independent stuff as well, and yeah, a lot of places to go for arts and culture, including the Wales Millennium Centre, which is just down the road in the Bay from where I am right now. Theatres, National Opera. Castles, festivals, galleries. There's always something going on, like in even the sort of the historic shopping arcades, where there's sort of independent shops and things as well, not just the chains. So it's yeah, a bit of everything in Cardiff, I would say, is a nice place to be. And these are some examples of what I was talking about. So as you can see in the top left, nightlife is fantastic too, if that's your thing. Then we got the picture of the big stadium, the 75,000 seat stadium. Top right is the Wales Millennium Centre, which is home to big theatre productions and things. Then shopping arcades, some of the coastal areas, and again one of the shopping centres. A picture of the shopping centre there as well. And then outside of the city centre itself, student life, as sort of provided by the university or Students' Union, is also fantastic. So we touched upon it earlier. Students' Union is consistently ranked in the top 3 in the UK, voted for by students, and they tend to run our societies and clubs. So there's over 200 societies to choose from right now. Everything from like say the American Student Society. We've got like a Taylor Swift Society. We've got like a baking society, literally everything you can think of. There's pretty much a society for it. And if it's not currently in existence, as long as you've got like I think it's 3 or 4 people or something like that, you can make your own society as well. So yeah, there's a lot of interests and sort of groups you can join. Some of which are sort of like purely social. Others have benefits in terms of like networking opportunities as well. So it tends to be the case that each individual sort of academic school has a society as well, and they tend to bring in like guest speakers and opportunities to sort of engage with people who could benefit your career as well as having fun times too. So yeah, a lot of opportunities in societies, and it's a great way to meet people as well. I would say, like my advice to everyone who starts at university, during the first week, in the induction week, there's always this societies fair in our students' union where you can kind of go around the different stalls and sort of speak to people. Sign up for whatever you want, just everything, bit of everything. Try it and take the opportunity to meet people, because that's how you're going to make friends as well. So that's my tip. And then there's also 4 student media channels run by students for students. So we've got the print newspaper, magazine, radio station, and a TV station at the university as well. So it's not just for journalism students. Any student can get involved with this. So if that's something you're interested in, it's available for you. And then the Languages for All program as well, which I've already mentioned previously. Then sport. So as in the US, it's also very popular in Cardiff. I think generally you're a bit stronger than us overall in sort of international terms. But yeah, we do have a lot of sport options available. So about 70 clubs from a wide range of sports. So everything from like our cheer team. So we've got the Cardiff Snake Charmers there. We've got the soccer team, the American football team, track and field. We've got all the main sports covered, but then also things like ultimate frisbee, lacrosse, equestrian. Pretty much everything's covered. Like kayaking, yeah, if you're something you're interested in, there's probably going to be a team for it, and at every level as well. So if you're sort of like at a competitive level or like an international level, we've got specific programs for that where we can support you. But if you're just looking to do it for on a social level or sort of like a lower level performance, that opportunity is there as well. Everyone has an opportunity to take part in sports at Cardiff, and generally Wednesday afternoon is set aside for students to take part in societies or sports and things as well. So there's definitely opportunities to do that. And the facilities themselves are fantastic. So we've got like a sports training village where we've got sort of indoor and outdoor facilities. So a lot of different types of sports fields, sort of real grass, artificial grass, including a 3G American football field as well. And also then indoor wise, we've got like a dance studio where we have like aerobics and yoga classes and things like that. And also like a really strong fitness and conditioning centre right at the centre of the university campus as well. And there's another one nearer the Taliban student accommodation as well. So there's multiple different sites all over the university where you can get fit. And I'm going to bring in Emma at this point as well. So we have this link on our website to sort of chat to our students. If you want to sort of, ask Emma questions afterwards, you can do that as well. There'll be opportunity at the end of the talk too. But yeah, we have some student ambassadors who engage with people via our website. Example on the left-hand side here, just a screenshot of the website with Emma's profile. So yeah, sometimes posts on there as well. I can see pictures of what she's getting up to. But yeah, at this point, I'm going to bring in Emma and ask her some questions about sort of her experiences at Cardiff. So so start off.
Okay.
Maybe introduce yourself and say,
Yeah.
why did you decide to come to Cardiff? And yeah,
So, hi, I'm Emma. I'm from New Jersey. I just finished my first year in international relations and politics. And why I decided to come to Cardiff, I feel like there was so many different things all combined together. Overall, the UK tends to be more affordable for university. Cardiff was the most affordable, definitely. And they had tons of internship and international opportunities regarding placement, study abroad, and scholarships, which is very nice seeing because you don't see that everywhere with international communities. Um, I also have the travel bug, so being in the UK made it easy to hop around. And it's just such a nice, lovely community here, especially in Wales. Nothing but smiles leaving the train station, going into the buildings, going into my own building. It's everybody's so friendly and willing to talk to you, and they don't judge you from where you're from, or if you have a different accent, it's immediately like, oh, how are you? Who are you? Where are you from? And next thing you know, you're friends with a whole building of people.
fantastic. Yeah, glad to hear that. So yeah, it sounds like your first impressions were great from the start. What did you
Oh
expect
yeah.
before you arrived? Did you have like any preconceptions?
I thought it was going to be nothing but rain. That was a wrong impression. We do have sun, but we do also have very rainy periods. I thought I would have a bit more judgment because of like the political state of where I'm from right now, but not so much. Lots of people, they don't even ask that. They don't bother with that. They're more interested in getting to know you as a person. So that was nice, not being targeted because I was American. Um, but I mean, it surpassed every experience. In the UK, I went to Manchester and had no fun really talking to people or getting to know what the universities there were like compared to Cardiff. It just surpassed any expectation I had.
Fantastic. Yeah, and yeah, you touched on your first impressions. When you first got off the train in Cardiff? What was your first thought?
Um, Beautiful little city. It is little. It is a little city, but that makes it feel much nicer. It's much homier. And there's tons of entertainment that happens in the square outside at the train station. So I was met with somebody singing karaoke, a crowd of people out there, and just a really fun vibe and lots of smiling people.
Good. Yeah, sounds like Cardiff. um, so contrasting it with your studies in the US,
Mhm.
how you find what you find the differences are like in terms of classes in the US, and how have you found it adjusting to sort of UK academic life?
So I think the hardest adjustment was learning the grade system. The grading system is very different compared to what you have in high school and US colleges and universities. Um, a scale is like kind of crazy to think about for me still. Still, when I see a 60, I'm like, oh no, I did absolutely horrible. I failed. But that's a great grade, actually. That's average. That's wonderful. I see a 70, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a bit better now. You won't see a 100. I've learned that now. I've gotten used to it. Um, but it's very independent. The lecturers expect you to just follow the readings. If there's assessments coming up, they're not going to mention it a lot, and they won't leave a lot of room to talk about it in the lecture hall. You have to actively reach out to them, go see them, talk to your personal tutor, ask for advice that way. So it's very much hands off. It's on your own. You'll get an email the night before saying, make sure you submit this by 1 p.m. or whatever time. But I like that independency. It really does make you accountable for the work you do and make sure that you have time management, which I've learned. Um, but
Yeah,
it's a very independent system, which is nice.
yeah, yeah. Do you find that when you need support, it's available though, right?
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, especially when it comes to submitting things like the day before, people are on their email 24/7, making sure there's no issues with that. And then your personal tutor's always around and your lectures have good office hours, definitely.
yeah, fantastic. So what's been your favorite thing about the university so far?
Definitely the opportunities, and that's opportunities with societies, um, with fairs, job markets, tons of social life outside of that's both like sober social life and more of the club pub experience because it's the UK, it's the culture to drink, I've learned. And then the student spaces, which is also really nice. There's always people in the library. Like I'll be in there till 3 a.m. sometimes, and people are just playing games if they're not, studying in the social spaces. Um, but you see everybody everywhere. You recognize familiar faces. You just have so many society events, which are sometimes networking or sometimes just more fun game nights or going out together.
Fantastic. Yeah. So which societies are you a part of? Which teams and things?
So I am a part of the Politics Society. That's my more academic based society. That's a very big society on campus. We have sports clubs in the society, we have networking events within the society, and then we also have our fun nights out in the society. My other more academic society is Model United Nations. That's more into the international relations part of my degree, which I really do enjoy. My fun ones are Motorsport Society, so we watch F1 races and we race go karts occasionally as well, which is quite fun. And then the American Society, we did a big Super Bowl watch party, which was lots of fun. And we have a new committee coming in, so hopefully we'll have a lot more events to entertain ourselves with, but lots of potlucks, lots of bringing just American foods and barbecues. Um, and then I'm planning to join baseball and softball. I wasn't a part of that society this year, but I have a flatmate of mine that was in it. And I went along to a few of the socials and watched a few games. I was like, you know what? I want to get involved because it's one of the more relaxed sports on campus. So I feel like that's more my vibe.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, great. And final question before we sort of open it up to the audience. What advice would you give to anyone thinking of studying in the UK and specifically Cardiff?
Go for it. That's just you have to really put yourself out there. Go onto the website, email people, chat to students. Um, if it comes to the undergrad degree, and this also applies to postgraduate now that I've learned recently, you can apply for more than one program of interest. So if you really want to go to Cardiff, you have lots of overlapping programs. Apply to two or three of them, and it triples your chances. And especially if you have a really compelling application, they're gonna let you in. They love having a big international student community that I've learned. Um, so that's really nice. And some people have worries about getting homesick and missing home. I had no struggle personally, but I had a friend that got pretty homesick, and Cardiff University was great with helping and supporting my friend. And you'll make great friends. You'll just have a great time here, really. So just go for it.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, when I studied at Cardiff, I'm originally from about 50 miles from Cardiff, but I got homesick. I missed my cats, so yeah, it's easy for me to go home and see them, but it can happen to anyone. So it's not just
Hmm.
limited to international students there, but yeah, you just
Absolutely.
power through it, meet people, and yeah, it gets better. Yeah. Well, thank you
Yes.
so much. Yeah, thanks for your insight. So
Of
what we're
course.
going to do now is give the opportunity to the audience to, if anyone's got any questions for me or for Emma on the student experience side of things. We've got the link on the on our screen as well. So if you want to sort of submit things to the website, but yeah, we're happy to take questions now from everyone here. I'll put my contact details on the screen as well. But yeah, open to questions right now. Christina, yeah, go for it.
Oh, thanks. So I was just wondering about like current students who are applying for Marshall and looking at Cardiff. Summertime, in regards to communicating with faculty they might want to do research with, is it our kind of etiquette or availability should have started 3 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, I would say get in contact. The academics are sort of always quite responsive, I would say, at Cardiff. The all listed on our website as well. So if there's a particular sort of area of interest, the students will be able to sort of find the faculty, and then every academic is listed with their research interests and their contact details. So definitely sort of worth contacting, reaching out to several as well, to if there's sort of a broader sort of area of interest, and they'll definitely get back at some point. If there's something even a bit more urgent, sort of, or like a link up with somebody, feel free to contact us via sort of the North America account, or I'll put my email address in the chat as well for everybody in a second, and I can sort of try and link people up with someone as well. But yeah, I mean, I would never say do things last minute, of course, but broadly speaking, I would say we're quite responsive overall.
Thanks.
Okay. Carsten, actually, you've got a question.
Yep. So, hey, from Rutgers. Hey, New Jersey.
Hey.
So, of course, Cardiff is Welsh. I love Wales, and this is cool, right? But thinking of the students who will apply to Marshall, they're typically, super on top of things, academically ambitious, and could apply to a lot of places.
Sure.
And many of them will be applying to the Rhodes Scholarship too. So I want to ask, so what is one area or one or two areas where you say, look no further than Cardiff?
Okay.
I think Eric hinted at it because he had a very good one for the law, but
sure. Yeah, so it's a difficult question to answer, honestly. I wouldn't sort of highlight any one school of ours. I think we to say the rankings and things do sort of highlight how we are sort of very strong across the board. So I wouldn't sort of say we are sort of well known for one particular subject or anything. And I also wouldn't suggest students look solely at one university either, which sounds counterintuitive because obviously we're here to sort of recruit students and things. But I would say that students should sort of consider their options, because particularly with the Marshall Scholarship, we are looking for students who have that sort of very specific link with what we with the applications, right? So we want students who are going to be connected to the course we're offering, or with a specific research academic, like as Eric's example was perfect there. Very niche area he was looking to study and found the academic that sort of matched up with him. So finding that link for the Marshall scholars especially, I would say do look at other universities, and hopefully at Cardiff we have that opportunity, because we have a very strong array of courses available and some internationally renowned academics as well, with some very interesting academic fields. So I think there's an opportunity there for most students to find something. But ultimately, if the sort of research interests are not sort of quite aligned, then we understand, right? We've sort of grown up about things. We do sort of see that some universities might be more aligned to what the students are looking for. I'd also say that I'm confident in what Cardiff offers. So if a student sort of comes to us initially and says, "Oh yeah, I really like what you've got to offer. Haven't looked at anything else yet," I would say, do consider your options. And I genuinely believe that Cardiff has everything in terms of the academic offering and the city and the student life, that they'll ultimately come back to us anyway. They'll do their research, compare it with the other universities, and see that actually, the overall package at Cardiff is the strongest of the lot, because it's a Bristol Group University. It's top 200 in the world, top 50, top 100 for a lot of subjects. Student life is fantastic. It's affordable. It ticks a lot of boxes. So yeah, what I'd say for like specifically Marshall though is that sort of, if that specific research interest or something isn't quite there, it's certainly worth considering other options, because that is a key part of how you're going to be successful.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions? No, I think it's gone quiet. Okay. In that case, thank you so much for everyone who attended. If you do have any questions that you want to sort of follow up with, you got the contact details on the screen, and I put my direct contact in the chat as well. You can also, if you want to chat with Emma about sort of student life, I'll just roll it back there for a link to our website where you can sort of find our student ambassador profiles. So yeah, feel free to contact us. Or contact Emma through there, or our team, international team here, or the North America team as well. We've got a lot of ways you can contact us. You'll find us somewhere or other, or else myself directly as well. But yeah, thanks so much for attending, and thanks as well for Marshall for inviting us to take part in Marshall Monday as well. It's yeah, thanks for being here. Lovely to be here.
Thank you guys so much for a fantastic presentation. It's been wonderful to hear about Cardiff and wonderful to hear Emma reflect on her experiences at the university. I'm so pleased she's having such a positive time. Thank you everyone who has joined us today. It's always a pleasure to catch up with our colleagues based in the US. And we look forward to catching up with you next week for our next session of Marshall Monday, which is on the 15th with the University of Sussex. So yeah, wish you all well, and there's still plenty of time to sign up for those sessions if you'd find that helpful. Otherwise, hope to see you at a future session, and many thanks again, Daniel and Emma, for your time. It was a pleasure hearing about you today.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks. Take care. See you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.